Hello, Randi Rain here, and while I was on my search for broken toy robots, I found this one, and it was missing a lot of parts. So I thought I could reproduce them, but I figured it'd be easier to find one with the original parts and copy them. So I started looking, and then I found this one, and it was real cheap, and it was not in good shape. But it was cheap, so I bought it. But then I found this one, and it was even cheaper. So I ended up having to get this one, and I saw the rabbit hole that I was going down, and so I finally got this one that had all original parts to it, and that's the one. And this is Randi's Robot Refurbished. These little fellows are called the ForceBot and the PyroBot. And they were from Botoy from China. Yeah, Botoys. Sounds weird to me too. But anyway, about 1985 these things came out, and you'll find a lot of these out there. They made quite a bit of them. But this is the only one I was really able to find that had all the pieces. These little black pieces here just snap right off. I mean, how dumb is that? They should be glued in there, but they're not. So a lot of these are missing. They have them on the back as well. There's parts that are broken off, and the arms, the mechanics in the arms are all broken, and all of them seem to be missing this battery cover. This is the one I found with the battery cover. None of the silver ones had any of that stuff, so I had to repair all of that, even down to making new battery covers. So that's what I did. So let me get you closer and I'll show you how I did it. On the decorations, the gold one is the only one that I had all the pieces for. So I made a mold of them. I fastened them down to a board. I built a clay reservoir around them, poured the silicone in, let the silicone cure. Then I poured black plastic into the silicone mold, and I did that for both the front and the back. So all the silver ones here are all reproductions, all of the decorative pieces on here. And on this time, on these, I went ahead and glued them in so that they are in there permanently. And these two robots are the only robots that had these little rockets still left on there. So one of the other silver ones I had one of the rockets left, and the other one was missing both of them. So I recreated those. I defy you to tell me which one is which just by looking at it there. So same thing, I made a mold of the little rocket, but this time I put in some silver powder, smeared it all on the inside of the mold, poured it out, and then as I pulled them out and trimmed off the excess, I have perfect little rocket ships. Now for some reason there must have been something in the mold because I left a little blobby. So in future antique roadshows, my reproductions can be found out. There's a little mark on the ones that are reproductions. Another thing is these tips on the guns some of them had popped off because they just come right off. Well, once again, I made a mold of that. So now they all have the little black tips on all the guns. Now all the fixes on the outside have been pretty standard except for this last one. And this one is the door. Only the gold one I have has the battery door. I'm missing the battery door for all of the silver ones. And this is going to be a little bit different. This time I'm going to use a squish mold, squeeze mold, whatever you want to call it. I've had good luck and I've had bad luck, but this is really what I wanted the video to be mainly about, is recreating this battery door. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So this is what I have to make, and I'm going to be trying to make a squeeze mold. The plastic will be poured in one part of the silicone mold, and then at the other part of the silicone mold will smash down and supposedly squish it all through to fill out the cavity left by this thing. Sometimes it gets some air bubbles in there and it doesn't go everywhere, but I'm going to give it a shot on this thing. First thing to do is to hot glue down some foam board. Now I start filling the bottom with clay. This up with clay as well on the back side. So the clay on the back will help it marry up against the clay down here to make it watertight. And now I have to go around and fill in the rest. And once I have all the clay, I'll make some little indication marks to help guide it into place. Now where it used to say made in China, now says dot dash dot, which is Morse code for R. Time to mix up the silicone and pour the first half. Ah, the perfect amount. Damn, I'm good. Once the silicone cures, I cut it from the board, flip it over, and dig out all the clay. I need to cut away any spots that kind of leaked under that I don't like. And clean all the clay out. And now apply a release agent. And now the silicone. Damn, I'm good. Alright, time to open it up and see how it is. I'm going to apply this silver powdered pigment to the inside of the mold, which is the outside of the piece that I'm making, which is the same that I did for the little rockets on top of their head. Time to give it a shot. Make your guesses now if you think it works or not. Here it is, moment of truth. Ta-da! You can't even, it looks, that's pretty cool. 2 more and I'm done. I tell you, that's really renewed my faith in this whole squeeze, squish type of method. Sweet. Alright, here are my 4 robots. The gold robot has all original pieces on it, but it has the worst insides. None of the silver ones have original pieces on the outside, and this one has the best insides. All of them say ForceBot 3366, except for this one, which says PyroBot number 4. So I'm going to put the best insides into my best outsides. The Pyro, which is the unique silver one, is going to get the second best, which is here, insides, was there. And Pyro actually has the worst insides, which will go here. So I'm going to make the coolest ones have the best insides. Alright, here's the gearbox and the little drivetrain here. So let me open this up and I'll show you how it works. Alright, let's start here. Motor goes to this gear to this gear, which turns just this shaft, which is transferring the power up to here. This is a gear that I had to replace. This is the same gear I've been replacing a lot on all these robots for some odd reason. Very popular gear to break. But so that the black one is new. But it also transfers down to here. This one goes down to a small gear down here, which also was broken, and I also had to replace, which was a new. It was smaller than this one, but I made a mold of it and replaced it. That turns the main gear that's right under here that goes to the drive with the bump and go system. So back to here, as this gets transferred, we have this crazy contraption. Basically, it ends up doing 2 things. It is turning these 2 arms on either side. It also brings this around, which activates this switch. It also gears down, is what these other ones are doing, is it's just slowing it down even more to actually turn this one. And when this one turns, this little thing right here hits this little plastic piece. And that's the noise maker. So this is the best working gearbox. It's going into here. And this gets slid under here. And goes into position. Tightened up. These wires get tucked up here. And this bottom plate can get put on. This is positive coming off of the switch. It goes to the center, the common of this switch. And then these bundles go to either side of the switch. So I want to test it. And okay, that's correct. I had to replace the arm guides on every one of the robots. Out of the 4 robots, I got one good left one and one good right one that I was able to mold and cast from. The right arm guide that also turns the head was a little bit more trickier to mold. Okay. And then I can put this one on. Tuck these wires behind. The little chest piece fits in right here. This little peg on the head gets in that little slot. And quick test. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you understand it's about keeping another thing out of the landfill and get some more use out of it. If you enjoyed this, please like it. And if you want to share it, please share it. If you want to get notified when I do another one of these, which I will be, there's a bell down there, I think is what you push. I don't know. It's, you know, at this point in time, I think that's how you do it. Anyway, thank you again. See you next time. That was...
Randi's Robot Refurbished!